My name is Gerald.
I'm Bianca.
And today we're going to be answering some questions about entrepreneurship in Paraguay.
How can online entrepreneurs benefit from living in Paraguay?
I'd say that entrepreneurs are actually some of the people who can benefit from living in Paraguay the most. Online entrepreneurs, they can benefit hugely by moving to Paraguay, and let me tell you why. Well, Paraguay is a place that offers a territorial tax system, and I know we've talked about this a lot in past videos, but I want to point out a few things specifically that you guys as online entrepreneurs can capitalize on by moving to beautiful Paraguay. First of all, you need to understand that whenever you leave your current country, wherever your country of residency is at the moment, for you to leave that country, you would need to surrender residency in your home country before your home country will no longer consider you its tax resident. This is important because so many people feel like, oh, I can just go to Paraguay, apply for residency, get tax residency in Paraguay, and by doing so, I'll have no more obligations to my current country. Well, this turns out not to be true. A lot of the information that you see on the internet is true, but a lot of it is also not true. Whenever you want to establish a domicile, that's what it's called. A domicile is a country where you are going to be situated in from a tax perspective. You will be paying taxes to your domicile, to your country of residency, tax residency, and you want to do that. One thing I'm also going to add here is that whenever you become a tax resident of a new country, you really need to dig to see what your tax obligations are in the other countries where you're spending time in. So this is a pretty complex topic. There's no easy answer, but it does take research to get this information. Now, for online entrepreneurs, the good part is that your business is digital. And this is, Bianca, a big game changer for people, because once your business, or if your business is digital, what you can do is you can pretty much go live anywhere you want, assuming that, your host country does not take you as a hostage, which doesn't happen in most countries. Let's say you're an entrepreneur from North America, from the US, you want to go live abroad. You can do that because, again, you have freedom. So you can go live anywhere you want. And so online entrepreneurs, they can benefit hugely by moving to Paraguay. Let's say you surrender your current residency wherever that is. Great. And you establish residency in Paraguay. Fantastic. You can sooner or later qualify for tax residency by spending 120 days or more per year in this beautiful country. And so you can make sure that you're not paying taxes on your overseas income. With the tax residency in Paraguay, you can benefit big time. And there are a lot of places like that. There is the UAE. So a lot of people are moving to Dubai. They can achieve the same. But there's one difference. Like, it's expensive to set up a company. The cost of living is expensive. But you might ask, well, why would I want to be living in Dubai anyway? With a Dubai company, I can go live anywhere I want. Yes, you can. And this is true. But Paraguay is just a place where it's relatively inexpensive for a foreigner to set up a company, where it's very inexpensive to get residency. You can have all that done, for a reasonable amount of money. Whereas in Dubai, to set up the company and to go live there, you actually need a lot more. And because of that, many startup entrepreneurs, let's say they have their company based in London, or they have their company based in Dubai. They decide to come here, live in Paraguay, or let's say they have the company based in Delaware. Great, they come to live here. There are so many things you can do. And so I feel like for online entrepreneurs, it's one of the best places because you are really location independent. You can choose wherever you want to live. You're not restricted in any way, shape, or form. And because of that, I would recommend Paraguay to, I wouldn't say every online entrepreneur, because it depends on how much money you're making. It depends on where you're currently at in your business and many other factors. But I feel like for a startup entrepreneur, or for someone who is just starting out and who is not really focused on a specific market in a different country, Paraguay makes a lot of sense.
What are some of the sacrifices entrepreneurs need to make to succeed?
A lot is the answer. A lot of sacrifices, a lot. It's like you want to create that signature dish of your friend chef who owns a brilliant restaurant. It's a lot. Like, sacrifice in business is everything. And, to be fair, some people sacrifice more. They get ahead faster. Other people sacrifice less, and it takes them much longer to get ahead. I do feel like sacrifice, whatever you want to call it, suffering, pain, work ethic, saying no to things, whatever it is, you have to do this to succeed. And the faster you realize that this is a an important aspect of your business, because a lot of the times people don't have the prerequisites. They're high school dropouts, they had lousy jobs, and they're like, I want to become an entrepreneur. How can I get there? People asking the right questions. But one thing that I've realized over the years, Bianca, is that there are many people who started a business and they were really hungry, hungry. You looked into their eyes and you're like, God damn it, this person is hungry. This person wants to have success. And how do you know that? Well, you know that by the time that they're putting in to succeed. Like, there are people that were not born wealthy. There are a lot of people like that. They weren't born rich. And then there are people that were born poor or average, but they managed to really break through because maybe they had their backs against the wall. Maybe it was something that happened during their childhood. Maybe it's something that really drives them. And that's why I always say, Bianca, purpose is very important in a business. If you have purpose, if you can impact a category, if you can impact people where you can make a difference in someone's life, that's more important than anything. And oftentimes, like, people who are in business, that are getting started with like an online business, what they're focused on is like, and you need to be focused on that. So I'm not saying, oh, this is not what you should be focused on. Like, a business is focused on profits. If your business is not focused on profits, you're probably going out of business. But there is a big difference here between focusing just on the money and having influence, having impact. When you have influence and impact backed by just focusing on creating a business that's profitable, you can go a long, long way. And the people who have been in the same category for decades, you often see people that really love what they're doing. They enjoy the impact that they're having on their followers, on their clientele, on the people they're working with. And because of that, they're able to succeed over and over and over again.
Can you tell us more about work ethic?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Work ethic is the work that you're putting in to create the result. A lot of people call it sweat equity. Sweat equity is probably the single most important asset that an entrepreneur has, especially an entrepreneur that does not have the prerequisites. We're talking about wealth, connections, time spent, experience. Like, work ethic, sweat equity is the number one thing that you can use to get ahead in business. It is more powerful than anything that you will ever touch. There's so many people in our industry that started like literally from the bottom, from zero, and didn't have the skills, didn't have the connections, didn't have money, didn't have anything, but where they excelled is crazy work ethic. It's putting in, it's not unheard of for an entrepreneur to put in like 100 hours a week. This sounds crazy. Like, if you think about like, wow, working for a company 100 hours a week is like not what I want to do. But then there are people that are like, I can work 100 hours a week for my business. I have no problem working 100 hours a week for my business. But working for somebody else 100 hours a week, I'm not so sure about that. But don't get me wrong. If you have a high-paying position at a company where you have also the opportunity to grow, I think that working 100 hours a week could make a lot of sense. But a lot of the times it's like, for people that have that drive, that have that high energy, they want to have their own business because they know that the work that they're putting in will create substantial results. And one of the things that I want to point out here, which is almost never talked about, is that the effect in business is always delayed. It's never instant. It's always delayed. Let's say, as a startup entrepreneur, you're actually putting in double. You're not doing 1,000 hours a year, but you're doing 2,000 hours a year, which is possible. It's possible. It's like a full-time job, but you're putting in this time, and this is like the most important time. I'm telling people about this all the time. Like, the first year in the business is the most important time. In fact, the 90 days is like the most important time. And this isn't just about, living in Paraguay, starting a business, or being an entrepreneur in Paraguay, having a company overseas. This is about everyday entrepreneurs that want to get ahead, that want to work. And so I feel like the work ethic, what we call sweat equity in business, it's everything. And I've had this conversation with my friend David. You've seen him on the videos a couple of times, and we were talking about this privately. I don't think this was recorded, but we were talking about how going into a place where you actually have a unique skill set is going to get you ahead so much faster. Why? There's less competition. There are fewer people like you. Like, America is probably one of the most overskilled countries in the entire world. I'm not even kidding you. It's like a country where it's so tough to compete in certain categories that American entrepreneurs are actually crazy for not looking outside their box, for not wanting to go into other countries and territories and geographic locations where they can dominate, like never before, but they're not willing to do that because it's outside of their comfort zone.
It's Paraguay for comfortable entrepreneurs.
No, it is not. Whenever you're an entrepreneur, okay? And this is not just about Paraguay, and we talked about this too. Like, being an entrepreneur is all about being comfortable doing things you're uncomfortable. If you can be comfortable doing things you're uncomfortable, and I heard this quote a long time ago, and it made one of the biggest differences in my life ever, because I realized that I cannot keep doing the things that I'm accustomed to move ahead in my life. There was just no way that I could have gotten ahead. And I realized this pretty early on in life. Thanks to a lot of the role models that I've seen online, it was just like an eye-opener when I first heard that, because it's like, oh, I want to be comfortable doing things I'm comfortable. That was kind of my mindset, but after time I realized that's not the case. You want to be comfortable doing things that are new to you. And if you can embrace that mentality, that mindset is like, you're going to move ahead like at light speed. Where other people are like, I want to be living within my comfort zone. I don't want to be doing new things. I just want to be myself. And that's fine. Look, there's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing wrong with wanting comfort. In fact, a lot of the times we need comfort, for a lot of different things, in relationships, we need comfort. With family, we need comfort. We get comfort from our pets. There's nothing wrong with that. But in business, to grow in business as an entrepreneur in Paraguay, you actually do need to be comfortable doing things you're uncomfortable. There are some entrepreneurs, for instance, like myself, who have come to Paraguay and who have realized that, wow, this market is filled with opportunities. I've got to capitalize on this. And so I feel like it always depends, right? But as an entrepreneur, Bianca, you have to be comfortable with new things. It's the only way to move ahead. Like the businesses that have been the best, for a long time is like most of the times, if not all the times, the businesses that reinvented themselves. It's continuous innovation that gets businesses ahead and ahead and ahead, while other businesses are not getting ahead. And this does not have to do with like innovating something completely new, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. This popular saying, you don't have to reinvent the wheel to be successful, but you have to bring some ingenuity to the business, to your category, to excel. And I think if you can do that, Bianca, if you can be comfortable doing things you're uncomfortable, you can be a very successful entrepreneur in Paraguay.
If you want to work with Nomad Elite, feel free to contact us.
Thank you for watching Nomad Elite. We see you on the next video.